Hi, I'm John. As you know, I've been working on repairing an Index 645 vertical mill. Part of this was repairing the hand wheels that go on the mill because they were messed up. A couple of them, one of them was not installed at all. The shafts had gotten rusty, and there's a whole litany of issues that needed to be addressed. Well, one of them, as it turns out, there was the keyways on the hubs of the hand wheels were manufactured with a taper in them, and that created some problems with installing them. I was replacing the woodruff keys and that sort of thing, but when I put the new woodruff keys in, apparently they were a little taller than the ones that came with the machine. And so when I installed them, the hand wheels, they would just jam up on the shaft, and they wouldn't go in their position. It didn't go together properly at all. So what I ended up doing was broaching those keyways to relieve that clearance problem. However, what I have for a broach kit is a Minuteman. A Minuteman double-aught broach set from Dumont Corporation. Okay. The issue is that these broaches are, just for reference for my hand, they're only about an inch longer than my finger. This is a 1/8 inch broach, so this is the one I needed. And further, those the hand wheel bores on the hubs was a 5/8 diameter bore, and it was 2 1/4 inches long. So you have a hub that's about that thick with a bore in it about that big around. Well, here's the guide bushing, the biggest guide bushing I have for that. Okay, it's an inch long, which means there's another 1 1/4 inches of the broach that would be unsupported if I used that for the broaching operation. And as you can see, I'm trying not to get my hands in the way, but as you can see, there's a significant amount of keyway that's going to be, broach that's going to be engaged in the keyway during a cutting operation without any support. And that's a recipe for breaking a broach. So what I ended up doing was I made another guide. Only this is a different guide. This is not a bushing style guide where you drop it in the hole and then you push a broach down in. Because of all of that unsupported length, I wanted to do something where the broach was supported throughout the entire cutting operation. So this part of the broach really wasn't doing any work because the keyway had already been cut. But what I did was I made this guy. Here's the features of it. You have the keyway to fit the broach itself, okay? All right, like so. But you also have this up here, this material, this slot up here allows for the key to sit square against a shoulder without the radius in there. You probably can't see it, but maybe you can. Let's see. No, let's try this. Yeah, you can just see the gap underneath the broach. That was done deliberately so that I didn't have any little radius left over from the cutter, so that the broach sits square against that shoulder. So it wasn't exaggerated, but was not pushed out like so. It would sit flat in the slot. And this was made so that when I broach the keyway, I'm not pushing on the broach with the ram of the hydraulic press. I'm pushing on this. This whole carrier ends up sliding down through the hole during the broaching operation. So to me, that made more sense than risking breaking a broach. This video shows making the part and a little bit of actually using the broach and the success that I had with this approach. Okay. This is what I have for a broach. It's about 4 inches long, maybe 5. It's 1/8 inch, which is the size of the keyway. And this is what I have for bushing. Obviously that doesn't fit. So I have to make one. What that means is I've got to take a piece of raw stock, turn it down, but I also got a problem. No, another problem. The hub that fits on the shaft, that fits on the 5/8 inch shaft, is 2 and 5/30 Yeah, 2 and 5/30 long, roughly. Convert that to millimeters, it's 55.1 millimeters. Yeah, this is 5 inches long. So what that means is, in order to push this all the way through and get a full cut through the hub, I need to make a special sleeve. Here's what I plan to do. I'm going to turn this diameter down to 5/8. Right now it's what, 3/4? Yep, 3/4. So it needs to go to 0.6 to 4 inch, which is 1/1000th undersized the nominal hole diameter. I don't want to go any looser than that, but I can't go much tighter than that either. That's just under 16 millimeters. I should know that. But I'm going to turn it down, and then I'm going to cut a keyway from here down. And then across the top here, I'm going to cut a slot. I'll use the same end mill. So I'm going to measure this to see what size keyway slot that I got to make here. And then I will put this in like so and push this whole sleeve and all through. That's different than what's normally done. Usually this bushing, this sleeve is stationary. But I can't do that this way because I have to be able to push this all the way through. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully I don't break a broach. You figure out what you got to do, you figure out what you got to do it with, and you figure out how to do it that way. Okay, I'm going to stop for a second here. I got to go answer the phone. Okay. Let's set this at 46. Up there. Yeah. 623. 624. A little bit. But I think I can live with it. I'm working within the capacity of an old worn out lathe, so we'll deal with it. What I'm going to do now is bring one of the hand wheels over and check fit. Make sure it goes where I want it to go. That ought to work. So we should be good. I'm going to chamfer this corner, cut that end off. Well, actually, I'm going to chamfer this corner. I'm going to bring this shoulder up closer to the end. Then I'm going to cut it off. where I want it to be. I want this end to be a couple thousandths under, and it is. I don't want that to be a problem. So, pull it out. We're done with this operation. I'll show you a little trick I was using. I didn't want this to go too deep into the collet, so put a bolt in it just to space it out. Quick face and chamfer operation here. Okay, let's go set up and make some chips on the milling machine. All right, I'm going to measure the depth of this slot two different ways. I'm using a depth mic. It's not quite deep enough. The mic isn't anyway. Then I'm going to check it using a set of dial caliper or digital calipers and a little math. If I can only hold the thing, I'll be fine. I think we're real close. Well, that's definitely too deep. That just catches. Well, that looks like we're coming in right around 189. I'll write that down. It looks to me like 3/16 is pretty close. So outside diameter, let's make sure it's 0 first. Okay. Outside diameter is 0.498. What's convenient is it slips right down inside that groove. 0.303. Well, that says 0.195, so let's check it again. Certainly says 0.303. Oops. 0.498. Could very well be my feel is off a little bit on this. This is tricky to do. Of course, if I could read a mic, it would help. Right now, I'm looking at 75 plus 15 is 90. So, all right. Yeah, that's close. I'll have to check the calibration on this. Might be off, but either way, I've got to go down at least 3/16 of an inch, so I'll start there and see how I like that. Okay, let's see what kind of metal I can throw around here. I'll set my depth of cut to 10 thousandths of an inch. Set my speed to 1300 RPM. And we'll see how it goes. Hopefully nothing blows up. There we go. Okay, we're doing this transverse cut here. I'm going to go 10 thousandths deeper than I did on the longitudinal cut. That way the broach will sit square against the shoulder. to do it. $189. And that's what I was getting with my depth mic. Now, I did figure out why I was getting different numbers measuring with the calipers earlier. It's because I was measuring to the outside diameter of the full cylinder. The depth of this using a depth mic is across the two edges created by the cut, which are lower than the top of this cylinder. And I'd forgotten that. So it looks like we're done. I'm going to pull that out. And, well, before I do anything, before I forget, let's see if it fits in the slot. And it does very nicely. Now, obviously, I got to clean that all out, but it fits. Yay! Oh. Now, let's see if it works. I'm just using a half-round file just to knock the edges off, make sure I don't have anything sharp sticking out there. Okay, so I'll go clean this off, blow it all off, and do a check fit. This is how it fits. The idea is to push the whole thing through the bushing, which is different than the other type of Broach guides. The reason is this is a very long hub that this has to go through. To use a small guide up here won't give any support to the cutting that's going on down here, which may have been the issue with these and the hand wheels in the first place. So, yeah. That's the way I'm going to do it. And I'll push the whole guide and all down through. Here's a visual. It'll slide down through like so. And then I'll have to push that through with my hydraulic press or with an arbor press. I have an arbor press. I'm not real confident that it's going to do the job. Anyway, but that's how I'm doing it. We'll see how it works out. Well, cut some chips. Ha! Look at that. That fixed it. With that, I want to say thanks for watching the video. I appreciate all the new subscribers that have come on lately, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks.